we are going to study about the Pythagorean theorem. So, in order to understand the Pythagorean theorem, first of all, you have to understand about the right angle and what is the use of Pythagorean theorem and why do we use the Pythagorean theorem. So, remember that if there is a right triangle given to you and two sides are given and you have to find out the third side, then of course you can apply the Pythagorean theorem. Now, try to understand the basics of that right angle triangle, that how can we label it. So here in front of you there is a picture of the right triangle. So here this is the right angle because it makes up the angle made by this one is 90 degree. Now opposite to this one, yani this is the right triangle, opposite the side opposite to the right angle is said to be the hypotenuse, and this is the longest side of the right triangle and it will be labeled as C. Now the other two legs are shorter than the hypotenuse and they can be written as A and B. Even this side can be written as B, can be written as A. This side can be written as A, this or B, whatever you like, you can name it. But C stay the same, means you cannot change the letter of the hypotenuse, which is C. Now, what is Pythagorean theorem? It is the square of the sides, means the sum of the square of the two sides, which is equals to the square of the hypotenuse. This is basically the Pythagorean theorem. And we can express it mathematically as a square plus b square equals to c square. What is c? It means that the leg 1, square of the leg 1 is square of the leg 2, and then you just sum them up. This is equals to the square of the hypotenuse. Now I am writing it here, a square plus b square equals to c square. Now let's suppose you want to find out the hypotenuse. So what you will do, you have to remove this square. And we know that in order to remove this square, we always take the square root on both sides. When we take the square root, remember that the square and the square root of the c will be cancelled out. So it stay as a c. Whereas a square plus b square will remain under the square root. Now the question comes that they both have the square, so why we cannot remove this square root? The reason behind is that this is the equation, means there is a plus sign in between them. So after adding them, you will take the square root of that addition part. So for example, if now not only this one, if I have a square plus b square equals to c square, and I want to find out the value of the a, means I am asking you to find the value of a. Then in that case, what you will do? You will bring the b square on the other side. So when the plus b square goes on the other side, it will become negative b square. So negative b square, what is left? Here a square is left, and over here it is c square minus b square. Now you need to find out the a. So that's why you will take the square root on both sides. So since a is single and it's not in the form of equation, a square, so a square and square root cancel. So what is left? A equals to, and now again this is an equation because of this negative sign. So it stay as it is. So this is how we find out the unknown sides. Let's try to solve a few questions to understand about the Pythagorean theorem. You must remember the Pythagorean theorem. It is used when the two sides are given and you are asked to find out the third side, and the Pythagorean theorem states a square plus b square equals to c square. So they are asking you to find the missing side lengths. Two sides are given and you have to find out the third side length. So first of all, you have to find out whether you have to find A, you have to find B, or you have to find C. Now, investigate where is the right triangle. So this is the right triangle. Label it. So opposite to the right triangle, the side is said to be or denoted by C. Now the remaining, since we have the C, so remaining sides can be A and can be B. Now put the values of these one. So the value of the A is 5. So write the 5. And can you see the square here? Yes. So you can put the square over here. Plus this plus, okay. Now B, what is B in the right triangle? It's 12. So 12 square equals to C square. You have to find out. So keep it as it is. After that, you have to remove the square. So I am writing it over here to show you. Okay, 5 square is 25 plus 12 square in it's 144. So again write C square equals to 25 plus 144, it is 169. Now you have to take the square root on both sides. So write the square root here and write the square root here. This square cancel with this square root. So we get C equals to, and square root of 169 is 13. So this is how we find out the unknown values. Now you want to check. It's not important until they don't ask you, you don't check. But if you want to check whether your answer is correct or wrong. So let's see how we do it. Right here, A square plus B square equals to C square. A is 5, so 5 square. B is 12, so it is 12 square. And C is, what did you get? 13, so it is 13 square. Now 5 square is 25, 12 square is 144, 13 square is 169. Now 25 plus 144, it gives you 169. And on this side, it is already 169. So if both sides are equal, it means you solved it correctly. But in the exam, if you stop over here, it's fine. Next question. Again, what we have to do? We have to first label it. So this is the 90 degree. Opposite to this one will be named as C. Write down the formula. A square plus B square equals to C square. Name it. Let's suppose this is A and this is B. So A is 3. On the top it's a square written. Write it down. B is 4. On the top square is written in the formula. And you have to find out the C square. Now solve. 3 square means 9. 4 square means 16. And 9 plus 16 gives you 25 equals to C square. Take the square root on both sides to find out the value of C. So square and square root cancel out. So C equals to square root of 25 is 5. And this you have to memorize, because in grade 8, if calculators are not allowed, you must know the squares, you must know the square roots, you must master in the times table. Next question. Okay, now here it is an interesting example. Opposite to 90 degree is C. So they gave you the C. Name the other sides. Let's see, this is A and this is B. Okay, write down the formula. A square plus B square equals to C square. Now write down the values. So A is 9, so 9 square plus B square you don't know, so write it as it is. And C square is 15, so just write it down, 15 square. Now after that, what you have to do? You have to bring the 9 square on the other side, or first of all write it down. 9 square means 9 times 9 is 81 plus B square, and 15 times 15, if you don't remember, you have to multiply. So 5 times 5 is, it's 225, but let's try. 5 times 5 is 25, 2 carry, 5 times 1 is 5 and plus 2, 7. Now here we write the 0. 1 times 5 is 5 and 1 times 1 is 1. So here 5. 7 plus 5 is 25. So 5 write down and 2 carry. So 2 plus 1, 7 plus 5 is 12. My mistake. So 7 plus 5 is 12. So write the 2 and 1 carry and 1 plus 5. 1 plus 1 is 2. So you write here 225. Now bring the 81 on the other side. So b square equals to 225 minus 81. Now solve it, means subtract 81 from the 225. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 8 doesn't go from the 2, so bring the 1 here. So here it becomes 12 and here left only 1. So 12 minus 8, it will gives us 4 and here 1. So it is 144. So b square equals to 144. What we will do afterwards? Afterwards, we will take the square on the both side. Square and square root cancel out. So b equals to square root of 144 is 12. So this is our answer. If you understand, well and good. If not, then please rewind the video and check it again. After that, pause the video and solve the question yourself. Okay, next question again. So here we have three sides and we know that opposite to right triangle, it is C. Name anything. Let's suppose it is A and this is B. Write down the formula. A square plus B square equals to C square. We don't have the A, so we write the A square as it is. B is 8, put the power 2 on the top, and C is 15 and put the power 2 on the top. Now A square as it is. 8 square means 8 times 8, which means 64. 15 square means we just did it. 15 times 15, it is 225. Bring the 64 on the other side. When the plus goes on the other side, it gives us negative 64. Now what is left? Left A square equals to. Now subtract. So 5 minus 4 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Now after that 6 doesn't goes from the 2. So take 1 carry from here and 1 left over here. 12 minus 6 gives us 6. And here over here 1. Okay, so it gives us 161. Now take the square root of 161. So square and square root cancel. And we know that square root of 161 is not a perfect square. So keep it as it is, no issue at all. So here is an interesting question. They are saying Alex found the missing side lengths of the given triangle using the Pythagorean theorem. Is he correct? If he is correct, explain. If he is not correct, then also explain. So first of all, I always tell the students, rather than checking his work, you solve it correctly first. Which means label the diagram. So opposite to 90 degree is our C. The rest of the sides will be A and B. The first thing is we will write the formula, that is A square plus B square equals to C square. Now put the values. So A is 6, so 6 is square. B we don't know, so it is B square. And C is 8, so 8 is square. Now 6 square means 36 plus keep the B square as it is because we don't know the value. And 8 square gives you 64. Now bring the 36 on the other side. So when plus goes on the other side, it gives us negative 36. So what is left here on the left hand side? B square left. And now minus, subtract 64 minus 36. So 4 doesn't go from the 4, carry 1. So 14 minus 6 gives you 8. Here left 5 and 5 minus 3 gives us 2. Okay, after that what we have to do? We have to take the square root on both sides. So let's make the square root on both sides. Square and square root cancel out. So B equals to square root of 28. Keep it as it is because 28 is not a perfect square. And if you are not using the calculator, keep it as it is, no issue. Now, let's check his work and we will see that what is his mistake. So what did he do? He wrote a square plus b square equals c square, which means that the formula is correct. Now he labeled. He labeled 6 square, yani a as 6 square, and 8 square he said that this is b square. Whereas this is actually c square. So where is the mistake? So let's circle that here is the mistake. So here is the mistake. So what is the mistake? So rather instead of c, he said that 8 is the value of leg. So whereas c is the hypotenuse. Next question, it's a word problem, and in a word problem they gave you a figure also and explained you also. But remember, even if the figure is not given, remember the ladder always be your C. Whenever the ladder question comes, remember that they are talking about the C. Then every time the vertical length of a wall is always be a or B. And distance is always the ground. Okay, it could be also A and B. So they are saying, will the ladder reach the top of the wall or not? So the figure is in front of you. Where is the 90 degree? Here is the 90 degree, right? Opposite to 90 degree, we know that it is always named as C. So the wall, let's suppose it is A and the ground is B. Write down the formula, that is a square plus b square equals to c square. So what is the value of a? We don't know, so we will write as it is. What is the value of the b? It's ground, so it is 5, so we write here 5 square. And the c is the ladder, which is 13 square. Now write down 5 square means what? 25 equals to 13 square means 169. Now bring the 25 on other side. When plus 25 goes on the other side, it becomes minus 25. So what is left? A square equals to. Now subtract. 9 minus 5 gives us 4. So here 6 minus 2 is 4. And 1, just drag it down. Now find out the value of A. For that, take the square root on both sides. So we will be left with the A equals to, and square root of 144 is 12. So this is how we solve the word problem. Last question, a ladder 10 meters. So ladder is always be the C. The distance of the foot of the ladder. So distance always be the ground, which is A or B. And then the wall, the vertical height of the wall is always be your A. Find the top of the vertical wall. Now what they are asking you. So let's see here one more thing. The distance of the foot of the ladder from the bottom of the wall. So this is your B. Now let's check the figure. Opposite to 90 degree, it's always be your C. The ground or the bottom of the wall, because it is called the ground. It is called the distance. It is the bottom. It is the ground. It is, let's see this B. And the height of the wall, it is our A. So we will write the formula A square plus B square equals to C square. So our A we don't know, so we will write as it is. Our B is the distance, so this is 5, so 5 square. And our C is 10, so we will write 10 square. Okay, so 5 square is 25 and 10 square is 100. Bring the 25 on the other side, so you will get it minus 25 because plus goes on the other side, it's negative. So here a square equals to 100 minus 25, it's our 75. Now to find out or to find the value of a, we take the square root on both sides. Square and square root cancel and a equals to square root of 75. Look, keep the 75 square root as it is because it's not a perfect square. But if you are doing yourself, you know that if your maths is very good and you can do the mental maths, then you should know that 25 times 3 is 75. Now, the square root of 25 is 5. And square root of 3, it's not a perfect square, so keep this as it is. So if your mental math is strong, you can do this way. Otherwise, you can write it in the calculator if it is allowed, or you keep the root 75 as it is. I hope that the concept is clear to you. In the next video, we will study about the converse of Pythagorean theorem. Till then, see you. Bye-bye.